All right, we're going to be doing one of the most famous questions of all time. People use this all the fucking time. Fizz Buzz. Everyone's come across this question at least once. I've taken coding interviews with this question. I'm probably going to mess it up now. I don't want to jinx myself. I'm going to get it right. Okay, so given an integer, string, array, one indexed. Okay, that's very important. Given an integer string, given an integer n, return a string array, answer one indexed, where if I is divisible by 3 and 5, okay. Okay, so this is like a modified Fizz Buzz. Answer I equals I as a string if none of the above conditions are true. I equals I as a string. Okay. So it is basically the original Fizz Buzz. So look here, it's 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's this case here. It's not divisible by 3. It's not divisible by 5 or 3 and 5. So therefore, you just make it 1, 2 is the same. 3 is only divisible by 3. So you make it fizz. 5 is only divisible by 5. So make it buzz. 15 is divisible by both 3 and 5. So you get fizz buzz over here. 10 is only divisible by 5, so you get fizz for 10. Buzz for 10. 12 is divisible by 3 and not 5, so you get fizz. So you guys get the point, right? So we're going to have to return some sort of array, right? Starting at n. So I'm going to create an array called stores. This is my favorite one to use, stores. Okay, then I just have to iterate for I in range 1, 2, 1 to n. And if it's 1 to n, it's non-inclusive. So I have to go n plus 1. So that way it's going to be n plus 1, but because it's non-inclusive, it's going to be n plus 1 minus 1. So it's going to be 1 to n, like we want. Next, I have to create conditions for this loop to add to this. So it's going to be an array of strings. I'm gonna have to use formatted strings, but whatever. We'll do that when we get to it. So first, I want to create this condition. If I, so I is gonna be 1, I is gonna be 2, 3, 4, up to n, right? Because we're going to give it an integer n. So if I %3 equals 0, so if I is divisible by 3 and I %5 equals 0. So both these conditions are true. Stores dot append Fizz Buzz. A Fizz Buzz with a capital B. Then we do the same thing. If, elif, because we don't want it to continue. So for example, if we don't go elif and we just go if there's a situation where it's 3 and 5, you're gonna have Fizz and Buzz appended. So you're gonna have extra appendages too. I don't even know if that's a word, but you can have extra added items to your array that you might not need, right? Because we only want to satisfy what is needed by the array. So, if it's divisible by 3, elif I percent. So if the remainder of I divided by 3 equals 0, that means it's divisible by 3. Fizz stores dot append Fizz. And then elif I percent 5 equals 0. So it's divisible by 5 stores dot append Buzz. And we're not talking about Mr. Light here, all right? And then else, if none of the above conditions true, so that's else. We're basically translating the conditions to code. Else stores dot append. Let's see. It should be an F string, so it's going to be this. It's going to be a formatted string. We can't use F strings because apparently this platform is an older version of Python, so we have to use these brackets here. Dot format I. And I believe that's the notation. Format strings in Python. String format, there we go. So it's going to be format price text. No, where is it? F name. So I age, F name, or you could just put brackets I, and then John 36. So you see here, dot format, and then you just put the values you want to insert. Because it's only one item I want to insert to my array, this item gets inserted into this string bracket place. So for example, if it's 1, it's going to return string 1, and it's going to append string 1 to the array. So we go through this, then we return stores. Stores, and that should be it. Unless I made a syntax mistake, which is probably not possible. This is satisfied. Boom. There we go. So like I said, all I did was I just went through the conditions here. So it says 1 indexed, right? So if it's 1 indexed, all I have to do is create a for loop that uses indexes, and that starts at 1 instead of 0. So it's 1 indexed. So I automatically start, I is going to be equal to 1, and then it has to go to given integer n. Right, so if we know the for loops go up to n minus 1. So I have to make it n plus 1. So that way when I stick it into an n minus 1, so it's like saying n is 10, right? If I put it in this loop, it's going to go from 1 to 9 because it's n minus 1. So what I'm doing is I'm making n 11 because I want it to go up to 10. You see? And then I go through each condition, divide by 3 and 5. Okay, boom. Up here, this is the first condition. Second one, divide by 3. Divisible by 3. Boom. Add Fizz. Divisible by 5. Add Buzz. And then if it doesn't meet any of the conditions, that's basically saying an else condition. If none of the above are true, if none of these above, so elif, if, elif, else, means none of the elifs, none of the if conditions are true, add this formatted string. So I add that, and I return it. I return the completed array. Passes all the test cases, accepted, be 20.45% of solutions, and that's basically it. One of the most famous questions. Shout out to Khalil. Shout out to my boy Khalil if you're watching this, because that is also one of his intro programs to test-driven development, creating test cases around the question Fizz Buzz and making it like indestructible for how to test that output. So shout out to Khalil. Definitely check out his works. Maybe he'll be on one day, so I'll definitely plug him. But yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below. Knologist out.